On November 26, 2024, alternative rock legend and frontman of Smashing Pumpkins Billy Corgan dropped a bombshell on the Howie Mandel podcast, revealing that he shares the same father as superstar comedian Bill Burr.
About 10 years ago, my stepmother said to me, "Do you know who Bill Burr is? He's this comedian, da-da-da." I think I even somehow called up a picture on a phone, and I kind of noticed right away, like, gee, he really looks like my father. Bill Burr might be one of the children that your father sired in his days on being a traveling musician.
4 weeks later, on January 21st, Bill Burr would also appear on Howie's podcast, only to be blindsided by Corgan and his revelation, leading to this explosive reaction to the family drama.
Hey, what's up?
Sit down.
You're an asshole. Did you ever think the fact that I never told that story, that you shouldn't? Can this be like edited out?
So, was this a surprise family reckoning laid bare for the internet's delight? Or is Howie Mandel simply... So, where do we begin with this? It starts with Billy Corgan, who appeared on Howie Mandel's podcast and revealed that his father was a traveling musician and philanderer, and most shockingly, had recently learned that he's the half-brother of comedian Bill Burr.
She goes, "I think it might be one of your father's illegitimate children. Bill Burr might be one of the children that your father sired in his days on being a traveling musician." This is a true story. I'm not making up. There's no joke in this. This is a true story. I've never told this anywhere, honestly.
Wow.
So I said to my stepmother, I said, okay, that sort of works. And I looked at Bill's age, and we're similar age. And my father did once tell me that I had a half-brother named Bill, who was basically born around the same time as me. He told me on my 18th birthday. This is all totally true. I swear to God. Bottom of my heart, cross my heart, hope to die. So, yes, I see your face. So I said, well, how many other possible illegitimate children does Daddy have? And she goes, I think there's 12 total. Well, he was a traveling musician.
With a load of sperm.
Well, God bless on that.
Skip forward to just a few weeks later, and Bill Burr is booked to be on Howie's podcast. And we have a surprise drop-in from Bill's allegedly half-brother, Billy Corgan.
And look who's here.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Sit down.
You're an asshole.
Billy Corgan. Billy Corgan.
Yeah.
I'm an asshole?
Yeah,
I thought this would be great to bring a family together.
He didn't tell you. He told me you were totally cool with me coming.
That's what he does.
Just look at how uncomfortable Bill Burr is throughout this entire experience.
You told me Bill was...
All right, fuck it. No, I'll do it. Like, did you ever think the fact that I never told that story, that, you know, maybe you shouldn't? Did you ever, you know how many fucking, like, emails and crap that I got? Like,
what happens throughout this whole episode is an awkward and somewhat aggressive response from Bill Burr, a confused reaction from Billy Corgan, and a seemingly unfolding family drama on the set of the podcast. Just look at how Bill Burr reacts here. He's not denying it, and he's actually kind of angry that Corgan keeps bringing it up, which lends credence to Corgan's whole story so far.
you know what it is?
What?
It's, you're not the guy to do this. You're not the fucking, you don't have, this is outside your skill set.
Howie attempts to manufacture some laughs, but eventually it just leaves the two to talk out their issue.
Here's what I'm gonna do.
All right,
And
there's something
I'm gonna
I'll
leave you two, and you're gonna leave you two. I'm gonna tell people, like my viewers, to subscribe and to comment and whatever. But I'm gonna leave you two together in the room, and we shouldn't be part of this. Yes.
No, this is...
Can I be honest with you, dude?
Yes.
I've seen some people whore out moments in show business. How long have you been doing this? I've been in it 33.
35 years.
30.
Yeah.
I got 33. This is the biggest fucking...
See, there he goes to count his stock portfolio.
I know.
You guys.
You know what he's gonna do?
He's
He's going to go raise his rent for someone fucking whose house just burnt down. All right.
Now, Burr remains uncomfortable throughout the remainder of this episode, and he tries to make jokes, but doesn't really come across with the same, punch that normally has.
Is this giving you an idea for an album that has a theme?
No, it's making me want to jump off a roof.
Like, normally Bill Burr would be, down to roll with the punches and make jokes here, but the air between the two men seems fraught throughout.
He was a piece of shit. And he had two kids this close together, and he named them the same fucking name.
Good
he thinks
point.
it's different because he's Billy and I'm Bill. Like, that's how he told the difference.
Well, I was Bill when I was young. But you're right. I mean, with all respect.
I just thought.
All right.
I
Well,
don't-
whatever. You know, it's
I just
weird.
thought-
It's not that I don't like him. It reminds me of all of that shit. So, you know, it's
Yeah,
like
it just
I don't,
seems more of the same from what I've been hearing.
All right, whatever. I mean, I like your music.
Appreciate that.
Okay, great.
So, what's going on here? Was this a great Hollywood scandal uncovered by Howie Mandel of all people? Just looking at the two men, it's hard not to notice a resemblance. And a cursory glance at the ages does show just a year difference between Billy Corgan and Bill Burr, with Corgan actually being 1 year older. In fact, Billy Corgan's entire discography was an emotional exploration of the trauma of his childhood, where he was essentially deserted by his father and raised by his stepmother, and that's who this story allegedly comes from. Corgan's father being a traveling musician, he could have had a gig in another state, where he could have had a one-night stand that led to an illegitimate child. In a recent appearance by Burr on Rich Eisen's NFL Network show, Eisen made an offhanded comment referencing the drama, which Burr just tried to ignore.
So you're going to be on a podcast and Ed Harris is going to come out and act like your brother or something like that? Is that
I
something?
love Ed Harris.
Eisen couldn't help himself, though, and brought it up directly, leading to this exchange.
By the way, that was my way of just kind of bringing up Billy Corgan to you minutes ago when I asked if Ed Harris is going to go on a podcast and ask if you acted like
is
your
that what
brother.
that was?
That's
Yeah,
what that
yeah,
was.
yeah.
Was
Well,
that?
yeah.
Was that? People want to know. Were you really pissed?
Listen, I don't like talk about.
Your stuff?
Yeah, I don't. And so, like, Howie did what he did
Yeah.
because he is a Hollywood whore.
Between Corgan's story and Burr's reaction to having it shoved in his face, it's easy to think that we're witnessing a twisted family drama unfolding in front of us. So, are Billy Corgan and Bill Burr secret, illegitimate brothers? No. No, none of this is real.
It's fake, man.
So how do I know it's not real? I did a thing that's becoming more and more onerous these days. I checked the facts. Billy Corgan was born to Martha Louise Mays Corgan Lutz and guitarist William Dale Corgan on March 17, 1967 in Chicago, Illinois. Bill Burr, on the other hand, was born to Robert Edmund Burr and Linda Ann Burr a year later on June 10, 1968 in Canton, Massachusetts. Now, pay attention to the two men when they're given this story. Later on in the podcast, Bill plays along as though they indeed shared the same father and starts describing qualities of his own father, Robert Burr, i.e. that he was a pianist and a saxophonist. And Corgan quickly corrects that.
So, what was your relationship with Dad?
It was difficult. It was difficult.
What did he tell you he did for a living?
He was a musician, traveling, kind of club musician. Never got above the clubs.
Oh, he played piano, saxophone.
No, just guitar.
Well, in my house.
Oh, sorry.
Are you serious?
Oh,
Well, my dad told us he was a dentist, so he didn't do the whole fucking musician thing. I actually think he was forced into being a dentist by his crazy parents, but I think he wanted to be a musician. So I think at least he was living the life, or pretending to be living the life.
So this is key. The story the two men are trying to portray here is that not only did they share the same father, but that it was the same man in both of their lives, which is silly and easy to disprove. Here's a photo of Billy Corgan's father. And here's some video of Billy Corgan's father performing with him on stage. Now, is there the resemblance between Burr and Corgan's father that Billy Corgan described? I don't think so. Now, let's look at a photo of Bill Burr's father, Robert Burr. Forgive me, but that guy looks a whole lot more like Bill Burr than this guy does. So something here isn't adding up. Are the two men telling us that William Dale Corgan is also Robert Burr, leading a double life as a musician and a dentist? Are they telling us that Corgan hooked up with Burr's mom and that this guy has no genetic connection to his sons? What's really going on here? What's really going on is what we call in the wrestling business a work. Let's go back to the origin of this story, Billy Corgan. Want to know what Corgan's a huge fan of? Pro wrestling. In fact, he owns a wrestling federation. And in wrestling, drama is played out in front of people in just this kind of venue. Not only that, but Howie Mandel has done this kind of thing before on his podcast. In February 2024, he had Dana White on his show, but just before asking him on, he asked him to participate in a bit where he'd have White abruptly walk out of the show in frustration.
I can't thank you enough for being here.
Thank you for all the kind words. I appreciate it. I am so fucking tired of doing podcasts. I'm literally done with them. I'm not doing any more podcasts.
Bill Burr, of course, is playing along by seemingly not playing along, and the less detail he provides, the stronger the story can seem.
I'm
About
not
you
doing
two.
this. I'm not
It's
doing
about
this.
you two.
Everything is a fucking
Billy?
bit with you.
It's not a bit.
You haven't gone far enough at this point? I mean, when is the fucking... Yeah, it's becoming funny now. Now I don't give a fuck.
You got
It's so fucking ridiculous with the piano that it's I'm forgetting that what you did is really fucking rude. I feel like I don't want to go any further with this. I think we played along long enough, Howie. Can you come back in and shut off this fucking music?
And ultimately, this is just a bit of Andy Kaufman-esque Fugazi. Good Fugazi, but Fugazi nonetheless. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment below if you bought into this, if you were skeptical throughout the entire time. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.